Welcome back to Life Noggin. Today we're going to learn about one of the most famous amphibians on the planet. They leap, they sing, and transform from water creatures to land hoppers. Let's explore frogs. Frogs belong to a group of animals called amphibians, which means double life. Amphibians can live both in water and on land. There are over 7,000 species of frogs alive today, and they can be found all across the world. Some frogs are small and colorful, while others are big and gray, or even red-eyed tree frogs. Many frogs have bumps or warts on their skin, but these are not harmful to humans. In fact, some people believe that touching a wart frog will cure warts. Frogs start their lives underwater as eggs laid by their mother. After a few days, they hatch into tadpoles, which look like tiny fish with gills to breathe underwater. Tadpoles can swim around and eat algae and other tiny plants, but they don't look or act anything like a frog yet. It takes around 12 weeks for a tadpole to grow legs and develop lungs to breathe air. During this time, their tails get smaller and their bodies change shape. Once they have 4 legs and can live both on land and in water, they are considered froglets. Froglets are like baby frogs, and they continue to grow bigger until they reach adulthood. Adult frogs usually live near water, such as ponds, lakes, or rivers, because they need to stay moist to survive. They use their big, bulging eyes to see predators and their long, sticky tongues to catch food. Their eyes pop out so far because frogs tend to hide from danger by burying themselves in the mud. This makes it easy for them to see predators coming. Frogs can change the size of their pupils to help them see in bright light or dark places. And some frogs have special reflective layers behind their eyes called tapetum lucidum that help them see better at night. These reflective layers make their eyes shine in the dark. And if a predator shines a light on them, they might just be able to see the predator coming before it's too late. Frogs have moist, smooth skin that helps them breathe and absorb water. Unlike most land animals, frogs do not have scales or fur to cover their bodies. Some frogs can absorb water through their skin, which is helpful when there's no water around. Frogs need to keep their skin moist in order to breathe through it. To keep their skin moist, frogs stay near water or bury themselves in mud, leaves, or vegetation when they're not swimming. When frogs are underwater, they can breathe through their skin and their gills, but when they're on land, they must stay moist to breathe through their skin. Frogs breathe through their mouths, like us, when they are on land. Their nostrils allow them to smell yummy bugs and other foods that they like to eat. Frogs also have 2 sets of eyelids to protect their eyes. The first eyelid is clear and covers the front of their eyes. The second eyelid is a nictitating membrane that frogs can move around in their eyes to keep them moist. You can see this membrane when a frog is underwater, since it's much more exposed than when the frog is on land. Frogs are cold-blooded, which means they cannot regulate their own body temperature. Instead, they rely on the environment to control their body temperature. This is why frogs are often found sunning themselves on logs or rocks during the day. When the sun warms them up, they become more active. Frogs can be very speedy when they're wet and warm. They can jump really far and catch bugs mid-air with their long, sticky tongues. They also can run up to 8 miles per hour. However, frogs need to stay moist to run fast. If they dry out, they cannot jump or run. Most frogs are carnivorous, which means they only eat meat. Adult frogs mainly eat insects, worms, and other small animals. Baby frogs, also called tadpoles, are herbivores, meaning they eat plants. Tadpoles graze on algae and aquatic plants, while they're developing their hunting skills. Frogs use their long, sticky tongues to catch their prey. Their tongues are attached to the front of their mouths, so they have to throw their tongues forward to catch food. Most frogs have a special bone in their tongues that acts like a spring to help them flick their tongues out super fast. Once a frog catches its prey, it swallows it whole. A frog's stomach acids are strong enough to dissolve bones and digest any animal it eats. Frogs swallow air along with their food, and they release the air bubble with their belches. Belching helps frogs get rid of gas and makes room for more food. Sometimes frogs regurgitate their food. Regurgitation is when frogs spit out their food if it's too big or too hard to swallow. This is especially common with tadpoles who are learning how to eat. Frogs live in many different habitats, including rainforests, deserts, and farmlands. Each type of frog has unique adaptations that help it survive in its environment. Poison dart frogs are brightly colored to warn predators of their toxic skin. Red-eyed tree frogs have webbing between their toes to help them swim. And glass frogs can change colors to blend in with their surroundings. Glass frogs also have transparent undersides that help them hide from predators. Their see-through undersides reflect the light and confuse predators. Desert frogs can survive without water for months by slowing their metabolism down and then quickly rehydrating themselves when it rains. Some frogs spend part of their lives in trees and have special adaptations to help them climb. For example, they have toe pads made of a strong protein that helps them grip onto surfaces. Other frogs are great swimmers and have flattened bodies to help them move through the water. Frogs communicate with each other by making sounds. Male frogs are much louder than females and are known for their croaking sounds. Frogs make croaking sounds by pushing air through their vocal cords. The sound they make depends on the size of their body and how they are built. Some frogs have sacs under their throats that help amplify their croaking sounds. Male frogs often compete with each other to attract a mate, and their croaking sounds can be heard for miles. Frogs can also communicate with each other by changing the color of their undersides. These changes can show how the frog is feeling, such as being scared, excited, or ready to mate. Frogs lay their eggs in water, and after the eggs hatch into tadpoles, the mother frog does not care for her young. She lays her eggs and then goes back to looking for food. Some frogs carry their tadpoles on their backs until they are big enough to be on their own. Male frogs will guard their eggs and tadpoles from predators until they hatch. Male red-eyed tree frogs wrap their tails around their eggs to protect them, while the female is laying them. Then the males carry the eggs on their backs until they hatch. When the eggs hatch, the male frogs help the tadpoles swim away from danger. Frogs are a very important part of the food chain. They help control populations of insects and other small animals, and they are also a food source for many animals, including snakes, birds, turtles, fish, and mammals. Frogs have been around for a very long time, over 200 million years. They were around long before dinosaurs roamed the earth, and they survived the mass extinction event that killed off the dinosaurs. There are many species of frogs, and they come in all shapes and sizes. Some frogs are very small, like the tiny Amazonian tree frog, which is only about an inch long. Other frogs are much larger, like the Goliath frog, which can grow to be over 13 inches long and weigh more than 7 pounds. Some frogs are brightly colored, like the poison dart frog, while others are more muted in color, like the brown frog. Frogs are found all over the world, and they can live in a variety of habitats, from rainforests to deserts to farmlands. Frogs play an important role in the ecosystem as both predators and prey. They are also a good indicator of environmental health, as they are sensitive to changes in their environment. Now that you know all about frogs, it's time to take a quiz to test your knowledge. Click the link below to get started. As always, guys, it's me. This has been Life Noggin. Don't forget to keep on thinking.